Hey there, guys. So today we have another review, and this is Darwin, and this is Old Rasputin from North Coast. This is a fan favorite beer, from what I understand. I read a lot of forums and stuff, and this to me, if you took a poll of people's favorite beers that they can find in the store, this probably would be up there. People love this beer. Huge fan base for this beer, and it is a Russian Imperial Stout that comes in at 9%. So let's dig into this beer. So when I poured it out, it actually poured out in a lighter brown color. Didn't pour out like motor oil, but it obviously pours in the glass like this dark black color. Really nice kind of light brown head on that. Let's get the aroma on this. In the front to get a bit of dark fruit, a bit of like a dried date kind of action. Good kind of mocha, coffee, light chocolate, like coffee combination. And then there's this kind of middling, when toasted malt is on that end and then roasted malt's on the lighter end, you sort of get this kind of, in between those. And it almost smells like peanut butter to me. It's just maybe that toastiness is sort of giving that kind of aroma. Yeah, it smells like peanut butter, chocolate, all that good stuff. Cheers. In the front, I get a kind of not really, yeah, sort of hints of maybe that peanut butter, but it's sort of like a heavy toasted kind of malt, or lightly roasted malt. A lot of mocha, milk chocolate kind of cocoa thing going on. Good amount of dark fruit, dried dates, and plums. Not too much happening on the mid palate. Very blank, just watery almost. What's very noticeable about this beer is that the beer is really light on mouthfeel for the style. At 9%, it drinks towards I would guess towards 7.5. This weekend actually had Hill Farms at Everett. Hill Farms that actually randomly sort of sends kegs out in the world, in the wild, and we had it in New York City. Had some Everett, which is 7.5% porter, and that beer punches above its ABV at 7.5, and that beer drinks heavier than this beer. And we're comparing a 7.5% beer compared to a 9% beer. And this beer on the mid palate is just completely watery. Again, medium light for the style. Just very light mouthfeel in the middle. On the back end, you get more flavor, actually. Actually, the highlight of the beer, which is bittersweet chocolate, coffee grounds, espresso. Actually, on the back end, I also even get some bitterness and some alcohol. Yeah. It's just not really quite there for me. Therefore, I'm going to give this beer, it's still good beer. It still tastes good, but that mouthfeel is so hard to, get past. And also, this lack of robust flavor. This is more towards the lighter end of roasted malt. I really prefer that, big, rich kind of, just almost ashiness, just big, rich roasted flavors. This sort of doesn't have that. So for those two reasons, I'm going to knock this beer down a lot. This beer gets an 89 for me. I mean, it's still well-made beer. It's not too alcoholic, but I just don't get why a Russian Imperial, you really want something that drinks below its ABV. I've had this beer, I think, 3 times before this. The first time I had it was actually a year ago in April, and I reviewed it, and this was actually only a couple months. I actually got into craft beer not too long ago. So, early last year, was when I reviewed this beer for the first time, and I actually did not write a great review about this beer. Again, I sort of compared it to a milk stout because it just drank below its ABV, which is not what you want. You usually want beers to be more flavorful than an ABV, sort of punch above their weight class. So yeah, it's really nice to see that sort of my opinion, was, despite me trying to grow my palate back then, my opinion is still sort of the same. So maybe I just wasn't, crazy writing that review. But then again, I'm very much willing to get corrected. If I had this beer and I was completely blown away, I'd be completely honest with you guys. I've, re-reviewed beers and, shifted their ratings a lot because, my opinion changed and my palate's changed. But this beer, has stood the test of time of me being disappointed by it, unfortunately. And so yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is pretty disappointing for me. People love this beer, huge fan base. I'm not a fan of it. And for me, I highly recommend 1050 or Founders Russian Imperial. And until next time, guys, cheers later.